Jaiden Animation isn't the person you think she is. She's a cold-hearted psychopath that wants only destruction on innocent people. Jaiden even tracked down a fan when she was trying to use a fan art of Jaiden as a profile picture on some of her social media accounts. Here's a clip of her sending police to someone's house.
And I honestly don't think I should go into details about this part because it's pretty heavy sensitive stuff, but I ended up sending the police to her house. That's right, we went full detective mode on this girl. I know people who are good at tracking down addresses and locations, and we got her to tell us just enough information about herself to be able to call the police in our area.
I thought this was a huge overreaction and definitely not the Jaiden I thought I knew. It was crazy. Now all this started when a fan sent her a tweet about 2 years ago saying, "Hey Jaiden, my little sister made this fan art of you. I hope it's okay if we make it this our icon." Jaiden sent a tweet back and I thought it was very interesting and showed a lot of her character. Listen up, dickwipe, if you ever want to see your family again, you won't even think about using art of my character as your profile picture. I don't think that was the right way to respond to this situation. I think she could have kindly said no and that she didn't have to go into this insulting tone towards a fan that was just asking a simple question. I'm not sure if she was just having a bad day or something, but the situation just seemed to escalate and she had no plans on stopping it anytime soon. They wanted to use her profile pictures on things like Steam or Instagram, and she just was not having it. Eventually she made a video addressing this issue, and as of present day it's deleted, but I found a backup from this re-upload. The title of it was, "If you use my icon, I will send your address to terrorists." This was a devastating video that threatened anyone that tried to use her icon in their profile picture, and the video detailed her trying to lie to her fans and accuse them of impersonation if they even thought about using that profile picture or images of her character on social media. Here's the first clip to detail what she was talking about.
Ever since becoming a bit bigger on YouTube, I've been having to keep track of a lot of suspicious things some of y'all are up to. One of them being impersonation accounts. You might be thinking, Jaiden, come on, they aren't that bad. It's always obvious to tell when someone's a fake. You don't have to worry about it. But I do have to worry about it, innocent viewer. Some people do get fooled by fake accounts, and it can be pretty serious.
This first clip makes her talk down to her audience and is trying to combat the idea that people would be able to tell who was impersonating her if they had that icon. But Jaiden has always had this long history of hating her fans and thinking they were complete morons. And there's even this tweet she made several weeks ago. "God, I hate my fucking fans. You're all such stupid little bitches." What was really amazing about the tweet is that a lot of people responded warmly to it. It's almost like Jaiden knows that she can get away with it, saying something like that without any backlash. I thought it was pretty insane because normally you don't expect Jaiden to be saying things like that, given her history of being a nerd that likes Pokemon. The next thing I found out was so chilling to learn about, but I wanted to bring attention to a cold threat that she made recently to any of the people that challenged her. She didn't want anyone using her icon or her character in their profile picture, and it was really intense. Reminder, if you use my persona or profile picture, I will fucking drop you. This was such a huge deal to tweet about, because despite all the years that have passed, she was still the same ruthless, cold-hearted monster targeting anyone that dared to fire. She even talks about quote-unquote taking down anyone that impersonated her. As Jaiden's channel began to grow, so did her murderous tendencies, and it only got worse from there. Eventually, she was okay with giving threats to her entire fanbase.
Well, I'm always on the lookout for suspicious Jaidens, and you'd be surprised at how many I've had to take down. I know you'd be surprised because I'm surprised. Like, I mean, come on. If you're gonna impersonate someone worth impersonating.
I wanted to point out the absolute savage way that Jaiden mentioned that last part. Jaiden is basically saying, it's not worth impersonating me because I will fucking annihilate you. It was a veiled threat to anyone that dared use her art, and there's even a video where she draws herself holding up one of her fans that used her icon in their profile pictures, right before she pulls the trigger and just finishes him off. She has such little fear of the consequences of her actions, she's willing to depict it in her art. She was even willing to target people on other platforms as well, like Facebook, where she found several other people using a Jaiden icon without her permission, and was trying to find their addresses and longitudes and latitudes of their homes, and Facebook wouldn't help her.
I don't have Facebook, but I realized there were multiple Jaidens on there just frolicking around without a care in the world. And that was frustrating because Facebook absolutely sucks and doesn't give a flip if someone is stealing your image or content.
She then talked about how she got in touch with a Facebook executive, and while there weren't many options of things she could do, she could block them or contact the fans directly. And I wanted to bring to the attention the intense way she responds towards the end of this clip. It is crazy. Watch this closely.
Or kindly ask them to stop. What are we, Facebook? For? What do we gotta do next? Hold hands in the impersonation timeout corner? I saw this mom blog post this one time and it was like, DIY timeout glitter jar. Shake the jar and make your little brat watch the glitter sink to the bottom while he thinks about his sins. Something like that. Hey, why don't you try that one next, Facebook? YouTube? Mail someone a jar of water and glitter and tell them to turn off their computer and watch it all slosh around. That'll get people to stop doxing and swatting each other.
She makes the sarcastic joke, that'll stop people from doxing and swatting each other because because she's the one that has to go to such great lengths to get people to obey her. It's just another one of her veiled threats that she would go any length to get rid of her fans from using her icons.
So up until that point, impersonation Jaidens weren't that bad, I guess. They're freaking annoying to have to deal with, but I never had too much of an issue with taking him down. But this recent one was the freaking last straw in the iceberg coffin. This one was on Twitter. The girl was reposting all the tweets I've said in the past, and I was like, "Not in my house," and approached her firmly yet professionally. And she goes from 0 to freaking triggered real quick.
Now in that clip, Jaiden tries to say that the other girl was acting crazy triggered and it was wild, but you should always remember that these videos only show what Jaiden wants you to see. There was a secret tweet that she sent out to her fans back when she released this video that revealed her true intentions. "I told this dumb bitch her address and that I was gonna burn her house down if she didn't delete her page, LMAO. Check out my bird." So this fan that Jaiden was talking to was just not listening and refusing to cooperate. Watch how Jaiden slowly and insidiously tries to up her antics in order to make this other girl listen to her.
So now, things have gone too far. Everything's been escalated, and I wanted to fix it. I DM'd the girl to try and resolve the whole situation, and I didn't get the closure that we could have had if she just cooperated with me. I've dealt with crazy things before. Things crazier than this. Like, so bad, I can't even talk about them in videos. And I've resolved them perfectly because everyone was calm, professional, and honest, and just talked it out.
But with all this information, I think we can all agree, Jaiden is a fucking nutcase that tracks down her fans for using her icon and burns their houses down, all while commanding a group of hired goons to break down your doors and kidnap you to one of the worst places to live on Earth. None other than Australia. If you don't want to be kidnapped to Australia, you better be careful what you say to this woman. I hope you all noticed the way she said, "I've dealt with crazy things before that are so bad I can't even talk about them in video." And when she says this, I think she's talking about that time that she rounded up people that disliked her videos and forced them to fight to the death to resolve their issues. That's just a theory that can't be proven because there's not enough evidence yet. What I can show, however, is the lengths Jaiden went to threaten this girl. Look at the way she responds to her when she brings her other animator friend into this issue.
As much as I want to show you guys all the BS she was trying to pull with me, believe me, you'd be banging your head into the wall. There's really just too much, and I think this one example gives you just enough of a taste to get an idea of what I had to deal with. So James and I started DMing her. Oh yeah, by the way, James got involved too. And she immediately starts playing the victim card on us. She tried to play it off that people were actually coming to her house and threatening her in real life. She was dead serious.
This was the darkest part of the video, where Jaiden began to lose her patience and rely on intimidation tactics, trying to break down this fan and find out where she lived, and sending creepy men over to the girl's house. She showed her true colors, and that she would do anything to get what she wanted. She would stop at nothing. This ruthless monster even went to lengths to describe what her goons did to the fan when they broke into her house.
Pretty much, she thought she was a step ahead of us, when instead she was 3 trips behind. She fell down the stairs. That's how behind she was.
That's right. Jaiden threw her fan down the stairs for not cooperating. A sickening act from a YouTuber who went too crazy with power. It's worrying seeing how she was so willing to harm those in her way to make sure that no one was using her icon. And with all of this information in place, now you finally get to see the type of psychotic monster that this animator is, and why you can't trust her to begin with. Jaiden, I don't know how many bodies you piled up throughout your career as a storytime animator, but I just can't believe you turned into a mob boss psycho that is targeting people that make fan art of you and use your icon. It just seems crazy. And she was so confident that she would never get a single bit of backlash from any of her fans that she could make a tweet like this. "Nice house there, Andrew. I noticed you lived in Idaho, pretty close to one of my boys. Maybe you'll consider not using my character if he stops by and says hello, you fucking bonehead moron." Jaiden, I hope you can look past these fans that just want to show support for you. They're not trying to impersonate you just because they're using your art or your icon. They're doing this because they like your content and they want to express it. You don't have to burn down their houses or hire various actors from the dark web to come to their houses to threaten them or kidnap them to Australia. It's just not a usual activity to partake in. And my second point is that I think you could just ask them kindly not to use your profile pictures in their social media. The next time you see someone using your icon and you just don't really appreciate it, just try being nice and polite, and I'm sure in most cases they will respond with the same amount of kindness. The more you do impolite things like threaten them saying they'll never see their family again, the less likely they'll see you as a person they can negotiate with. I will say though, I have seen less threatening tweets from you lately. I think you may already have started improving and I'm so proud that you continue to do that. I hope you continue to develop your understanding of your fans and try to listen to them, not when they're on their knees begging for their lives as you decide whether to give them mercy or not, but when you understand that they like you for who you are and that they want to continue watching your content for years to come. And please try to cut back on the kidnapping. because the last thing we want is for the population of Australia to get out of control. It would spell disaster for the world, and we have to make sure that they don't try to get off their continent. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and remember to subscribe. If you're looking for the source of where I got all this information, it's that I made it the fuck up.